People is our first business. If we
Right.
don't understand, connect, and value people, we're really missing the mark.
Everybody showed up for me in Lebanon. One of my favorite things to do is to give back to the community.
It's really just exciting to be here supporting almost 200 businesses within our Main Street District footprint. Welcome back to The Paper Trail, a storytelling space where we go beyond the pages of Lebanon City lifestyle to talk about the people who are making bold moves in our community. Today's guest is one of our incredible leading ladies of Lebanon, Nikki Jones, founder of Compass Leadership Solutions. She's a speaker, a coach, a change maker, and a woman with a mission to lead. Nikki, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, January.
Thank you for coming. We have had such a good time this month sharing all of the ladies in the issue, all about our women in the community that are doing big things. So thank you for being a part of our issue. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what led you to start Compass Leadership Solutions.
Yeah, so I love adding value to people. I started Compass Leadership because I wanted to be able to make a difference in workplaces, right? And providing solutions where everyone could thrive and bring their skill sets to the table and they be valued.
Your business has such a powerful name, Compass Leadership. Of course, the word leadership is powerful in itself. So what does this phrase mean to you on a personal level?
Yeah, it's about guiding people to their greater,
I love that.
Really helping them identify where it is they're going, what it is they want to achieve, and helping them get there.
I love that. I love that. I've heard you say that leadership starts with listening. Can you share how that shows up in your work with individuals and organizations?
Absolutely. So many people think that leadership is about a title or position, but it's not. It really is about influence. So the more that we're able to actually listen to people, the better we are with connecting with them and building relationships that are established on trust and help us foster a strong collaboration.
What kind of impact are you seeing when companies embrace more heart-centered leadership models?
I try to help people understand that people is our first business, right? It doesn't matter how great our products and our solutions are. If we don't understand, connect, and value people, we're really missing the mark, right? And so when companies do shift their model to be a people first or a human-centric business, what they gain is trust. They gain employees that are highly engaged, employees that deliver high productivity, right? There's increased communication and collaboration, and people have a sense of pride when they go to work. So that's why, for me, it's very important that people understand that without people, really nothing works.
You're such an advocate for emotional intelligence and self-awareness in leadership, kind of what we just mentioned. And if you could give us one tip to anyone that's listening to about, how to grow in that area.
Yeah, I would definitely say to work on your empathy.
Okay.
Work on really understanding other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Right? Because you gain so much, you learn so much, you learn how to communicate with them, you learn how to interact, right? And it's a great way to demonstrate that you actually care and you're willing to understand that other person's position so that you all can have a great relationship.
We've honored you as the leading lady of Lebanon this month in our magazine, which we cannot be more proud of. We are super excited to have all of you ladies in this. And what does this recognition mean to you?
It's very special and heartwarming. It really is. I always ask myself, I'm like, am I making a difference? Because that's a big deal to me to serve the community. And so receiving this type of recognition just blew my mind, if I'm being transparent, because I never knew how many people were actually watching what I'm doing, and how much it actually affects them. So I'm very appreciative. So thank you so much.
Well, you're so welcome. So real fast, let's do something fun. I want to give you a quick little lightning round with some fun answers that you can throw back. So favorite quote you live by?
Yes, it's by William James.
Okay.
It says, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does.
Yes, it does. And you're just spitting image of that. So what, let's say best local coffee or lunch spot that would refuel Nikki?
I love Lebanon Coffee House. I love the sense of peace that I get there.
Very calm.
The couple who owns it are so amazing. I just, they have a great drink that I love. It's a hibiscus tea.
Oh, yeah.
And every time I go in there, that's the drink that I
That's the
get.
one. Oh, good. Yeah, it's good. So that's what refuels you. So I love that. And they are great. I love being, we just moved here in this space and I love being next door to them because it's really easy to pop in and grab something good. So who is a dream guest that you would love to coach?
An NFL team. I am a huge football fan.
Did not know that.
And
Okay.
so if you've ever seen the movie Any Given Sunday,
Yes.
Cameron Diaz, she played the daughter's owner. And I always dreamed of having my own NFL team. So I would love to be able to go back home and maybe have the Denver Broncos.
Oh, is that your favorite team?
My
Okay.
clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a great answer. I don't even know who I would answer if I had that question, but I like that answer. Very cool. And I didn't know you were a football fan. So now I know. Okay. Last question. What is your leadership superpower?
Oh, wow. I think it's actually my ability to build connections very quickly with people and to be a hope dealer.
I love it.
I just love telling people what they can do, right? Because many people have grown up in situations where they have constantly heard, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I like being a person that tells them, not only can you do that, I'm going to show you how.
Watch this. Watch this. Yeah.
So I think that's my superpower.
Yeah. That's you. That is totally you. And that's a blessing, such a blessing. So thank you so much for being here today. This was so fun to get to know you a little bit more and find out a little bit more about you. Let our readers and our listeners get to know you. So thank you for your heart, your vision, and for helping us, within our community. For anyone that's listening, how can they find you or work with you in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram or on Facebook under Compass Leadership Solutions. I'm also on LinkedIn and I'm on TikTok.
Yay. Okay.
Yes.
Good. I'm thrilled today to be joined by one of our leading ladies of Lebanon, Darlene Webb, who is the owner and heart of the Island Breeze Bistro right here on the square, a local gym bringing the rich, vibrant flavors of the Caribbean right here to Middle Tennessee. Darlene, welcome to the show today.
Hey, hi. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
I'm so happy to have you. So speaking of your restaurant, it has become such a beloved part of the Lebanon dining scene. Tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to open the bistro.
Well, originally from Haiti, grew up in Florida. I moved here to Lebanon about 7 years ago. I've always found it that Lebanon is such a beautiful city with so many people just caring about the city. And I thought that, man, the one thing we're missing a little bit was a little bit of love from a different culture.
Yeah.
So I thought that since I grew up, my mom owning a restaurant back home in Haiti, I thought that it would be an honor for me to just continue what she has brought to so many people's lives back in Haiti, which is bringing people together and making them feel at home.
So your menu is full of soul and tradition. Can you share a bit about your inspiration behind your dishes and the culture that you bring to the table?
I wanted it to bring something here to Lebanon Wilson County, because we're the first Caribbean food in Wilson County with a restaurant, brick and mortar, that is. We are thrilled to just have something for everybody in the menu, from vegan to gluten-free. so you can walk in every day and find something different to eat. And that's why our menu changes from day to day. It's not the same thing. So we wanted it to make sure that anybody can walk in and be able to eat, whether you brought your kids with you and you had medical condition, that we can serve you the best to our ability, and also feel the warm welcome and just feel at home, not just another big restaurant.
There's something special, like I said, about walking into your space. It just feels so warm. And so I know the community has embraced you for sure. And your business, I feel like, has totally embraced this community. Any moments that remind you of why you got started here?
Wow, definitely. I could look and think back so many moments that the minute I started it, volunteering around town to get to know the town before I opened the business, so many people came and put their arms around me and just was just like, here's what to do. Here's who you need to meet. You know, take this, you know, do this with this. And it was such a blessing to just, when I tell you God works in mysterious ways by sending the right people.
Yes, he does.
To just point me to the right direction. And by any means, I had no idea what I was doing. But when I tell you, everybody showed up for me in Lebanon. And till this day, I've been able to make so many different movement within the Lebanon, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And with that, you know, just being involved with the chamber, with being involved with Historic Lebanon, such a blessing to be able to be part of Lebanon. Truly, honestly, and to also, you know, to bring my business to fruition through with all of it included. It's such a blessing to have you.
Thank you.
And to nominated me as one of the, and to be one of the leading women of Lebanon. That's such a blessing. So yes, all those encompass to how awesome Lebanon is, and not focusing on, but just everybody, focusing on everybody that's doing things in the, to better our community.
I've got just one more real, you know, big one, and then we want to do something fun at the end. So, you know, because you were recently named the leading lady of Lebanon, you know, how did that recognition feel to you personally and then professionally?
Wow. Personally, that's been one of those surreal moments.
Yeah.
Because you look at, oh, wow, a third world country, young lady in Lebanon, Tennessee, being named one of the leading women of Lebanon, that means the world. That dream come true, right? Surreal. I mean, surreal. And it's a blessing, honestly, through the goods and the bad of what's going on in the world. You could just be taking this small part, well, which is huge for me, but encompass into daily lives and things that are happening. Personally, that's just brought my life up, like, because I have some, so it's been amazing.
That's awesome.
Professionally, wow, it's an amazing part to be included with those ladies as a leading ladies of Lebanon. But professionally, it's just one of those, how many people can say that, right?
So real fast and fun, let's close out with a quick answer from you on a couple things. So one dish everyone must try at Island Bistro.
I would have to say oxtails, because we got so many questions about it. What is it? Well, to everyone listening, it is beef.
Okay.
It's beef. And probably the most expensive meal on the menu, but it's worth it. Oxtail is very expensive as well. But it's a must try, because then you're just really stepping out of your comfort zone to try something different. The bowls are amazing, but oxtails, I would have to say, probably is the top.
Okay, good. I'm going to do that next time. Sure. I've actually had oxtail soup, but I want to try yours too. Okay. So favorite Caribbean ingredient you cannot live without?
It would definitely have to be pepper, any kind of spicy pepper, right? You know, Scotch bonnet or habanero.
Yeah.
And we make a delicious hot sauce that we sell at the restaurant. So you should try it.
Oh, love it.
Yay.
Okay, a song that gets you in the zone.
Afrobeats.
Okay.
So I listen to a lot of Afrobeats.
Yeah.
But I love all kinds of music, honestly. So I'm a fan of all kinds of music.
I think
But
music
Afrobeats are very like pump and
Get you
just
going.
get you going.
Yeah,
Yes.
get you revved up. That's good.
Yes.
Okay, so their last one, your culinary or hospitality superpower.
I would have to say resiliency.
Oh yeah.
I feel like with all the things that we do, especially being a mom,
Yeah.
you know, wife, all the things we juggle on a daily basis, we have a lot of resiliency to just keep going, honestly, because it just doesn't stop.
No, it's
It
a
doesn't.
never-ending thing. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time today, because that's another thing. We're taking you from the restaurant right now, so we need to
Yay.
get you back.
That is
But
true.
we are so grateful for you. Thank you for bringing your heart, your heritage, your hospitality to
I'm
Lebanon.
honored, very honored, guys.
We
Thank you,
love
thank
you.
Thank you.
We are honored, and we are so grateful for today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone listening, and continue to listen to the Paper Trail and hear more, and definitely go see our friends over at Island Bistro. The girls are fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate all.
Today, we're continuing our Leading Lady of Lebanon series with one of our May cover stars, Miss Robin Willis, who is a dynamic businesswoman, a community champion, and a voice of grit and grace. Robin, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
So today, let's start with your story. We recently featured you in our issue for May, and we were so excited to nominate and choose you as one of our leading ladies. If our listeners didn't get a chance to read your story in the issue yet, which is out in print as well as on digital, tell us what path brought you here.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Hendersonville, so just over the river, and I went to Tennessee Tech and actually majored in engineering, which most people don't know. I spent 10 years at Procter & Gamble, and I retired early from there when my son was born. I was in manufacturing management and logistics management, and I loved it. And all the skills that I learned there have been transferable to what I'm doing now. When shortly after our daughter was born, which was about 7 years ago, my husband started a business and I helped him get that off the ground. That's Ravenflight Web and Media. And as a part of that, I joined the chamber board. I became very, very involved with the downtown merchants that are here and around the square. And it was just something that really I connected with, really championing those businesses through the help of Ravenflight, but also through the chamber connection that I had as well. And so really, I worked very closely with my predecessor, Kim Parks, before I took over as the Executive Director of Historic Lebanon. And so we helped with website and marketing, and also as a part of that, just helping support the businesses that were down here. So it was really an easy and seamless transition when she left and I applied for the role to then take over last year. And so I've been in the role now for 14 months. And we've done a lot in the last year, but it's really just exciting to be here supporting almost 200 businesses within our Main Street District footprint.
Gosh, that's a lot. That's more than I thought, actually. That's more than I thought. So that's really great. And you are a fantastic fit for this position.
Oh, thank you.
You're perfect for it. So you told us about your role a little bit at Historic Lebanon. And what inspired you to kind of take this position, if you want to go a little deeper, and your passion for Main Street preservation in particular?
Absolutely. So as I said, I'm the executive director for Historic Lebanon. And so my whole role is developing, managing, executing, and documenting our Main Street program. And so we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're an accredited Main Street community within Main Street America. There are over 1,100 communities all across the country that are doing that. So there's one of the things I really enjoy about it is there's actually a transformation strategy that Main Street gives to communities. And they say, these are the 4 points that you want to work on to really help transform a community. And so I love processes, I love systems. So I love to have a framework for how we can come in and systematically help the businesses. So you've got economic vitality, where we are helping with creating a business directory and providing trainings to our businesses that are down here, and a welcome packet for new businesses that are coming in. Then you have design, which is all about the physical assets that you see within this area. And so one thing we're going to do this year is install some wayfinding kiosks and signage. So you can see, what's around the square and how you can really explore. Yeah, exactly. What's there. And then we have our organization committee and group, and they're working on our partnerships and helping strengthen our programs. We'll be launching a grant program this year for small businesses in our area for facades and awning grants. And then the last one is promotion. And that's a huge, huge part of what we do, is to promote what's happening down here, promote the events. There's so many venues and places that host great events, as well as just sharing the stories of the individual businesses that are here. So it's what drew me to it is the ability to be able to do something more and on a bigger scale than what I was doing previously, and to support people that have become friends and I really enjoy advocating for. And, of course, there's a historic preservation piece and a revitalization piece where we want to honor our history and share about our history and be able to celebrate that, but also to think about the future and how we grow and how we support that growth, because there's so many people that have come down here and it's not just, it's not just a hobby. It's something they're very passionate about to have their businesses.
This downtown is we just moved. We were on the chamber for we were inside the chamber. We had an office there the last year, and then just recently moved over here. And I'm an advocate for preservation and history. I was on the board at Cragfont. I grew up in a historic home. If these bricks could talk, it just brings me so much joy. And every building that I go in down here on the square in particular, or, even right off of the square, there's several buildings that I admire and love. And I mean, it's just something that I'm so grateful that Lebanon is number one proud of, but also very backing, that preservation and love and continuing on for the future, because this little square is really thriving, as we all know, and we're so happy and grateful for that. And we don't want to lose sight of we do have to take care of it and be stewards of the land and the buildings and all of the things, the city. So
absolutely,
that is beautiful. And so another thing I kind of wanted to touch on, speaking of all of that, and one thing I wanted to say too, your engineering background came in very handy for all of this. Isn't it funny how God lines up things that you think I was going to be doing this, and but in all you are. All in all, you are using that skill. So I love that. What does Main Street cover? I know the square, but what are the perimeters so that people understand that?
Yes. So if you go east from the square, the boundary is just past the courthouse. If you go north from the square, the boundary is Market Street and the Mill.
Yes, the Mill.
And then the west side boundary is Greenwood, and a little bit west of there, in the shopping center that has Adelita's and Speedy Burrito and all of that. And then we go south a little bit further on Maple. It's kind of down, it's a little bit jagged, the edges, but it's not just the square. And I love the square, but it's not just the square. It does bleed out. Definitely expands beyond that. And I think, it just gives us that many more people that we can potentially help. That's great. That's good. Cause I think it's helpful to know, because when you think of Main Street, you think of just the square. So that's good. I wondered that same thing, and I've asked you that before. So as far as historic properties, I know you know some hidden gems. I'm certain of it. What is your favorite historic property, if you can say? I know that's hard. That's a tough. I know. Hopefully the people listening won't get offended if you don't choose their spot. But they're all beautiful. So I love Pickett Chapel and White Fessenden House and the old post office, which is now the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So cute. But I think the one that's probably the closest to my heart is the Mill. Yes. Because the Mill at Lebanon is where our office is, the historic Lebanon office is. And it's just such a great example of adaptive reuse of a space. That was a mill, an actual working mill from 1908 to 1998 and has now been turned into retail space, a venue, office space for entertainment. And, you know, it's beautiful and it just has so much history. And I think so that's probably, you know, if I had to pick a favorite, that would be my favorite.
It is hard. We are lucky. I will say in Lebanon, we are very lucky to have numerous, you know, beautiful spaces. So I'm pretty proud of that too.
Me too.
What is something I would like to know too, but what's something that most people don't know about you?
I thought about this. So I would say that I am an introvert who has learned to thrive in a public and leadership role.
That is amazing.
It's been through just taking on the next experience that was in front of me. And as you said before, all the skills that I've gained until this point through the different roles that I've had, I've just been able to build upon those.
Yep.
And so I think being an introvert, it allows me to listen more maybe and to be more mindful as I'm meeting with people. I don't know. But I think just really building upon each job and each skill and just putting my best effort into it, I've been able to become comfortable and overcome fear of, you know, maybe being the youngest or maybe being the only female or whatever. I'm able to be comfortable in my own skin and to lead.
That's powerful. You know, that's very powerful. And it's something I do think we were talking about this the other day about stepping stones and things that like my editor asked me how some of my childhood memories, because I'm doing a childhood memory article in the July issue about me, and it kind of, you know, resurrected some things that I was like, wait a minute, you know, do I really want to bring this up? But some very fun memories that just vividly told me. She said, "How do you feel like those memories have made you how you publish today?" And I'm like, that is really weird. Nobody has ever asked me that, and when I think about it, I'm like, I can still see myself, like one of the things I'll share that's kind of a teaser, I guess, for the story. But I, as a child, I had 3 sisters, but for whatever reason, I didn't want to go play with my sisters. I always wanted to sit at the parents' table, especially the ladies' table. When my mom and dad both entertained a ton. I mean, a ton. We always had people and parties and music, a lot of musicians in our family and friends, and they'd all sit around and play music and we'd barbecue. And I always found myself wanting to sit around the women and listen. And I was so just admiring them and their stories, their struggles, and they're just telling everything like we would be telling today, you know, that we're going through as mothers and business owners and women. And I found myself really just loving stories and hearing these women. And it's exactly how I feel today. And that I was kind of so independent as a child to be able to that was a passion of mine. I wanted to help, you know, and then become a helper and do things for women. And so it's funny now I'm sitting here full circle, you know, here I am as a woman, and we've just we're coming out of the May issue and the women's issue. And I'm thinking that's exactly how I feel. Like I've always been that way and I've always wanted to help. And so that was sort of like a building block for who I am today as a publisher. So how weird, you know, that you think, how is this going to affect me later? You don't think of it at the time, but necessarily until you get older, but it is a full circle.
It
so
is.
That's cool. I see that in you too. So thank you for stopping today to the Paper Trail. And if any of you out there listening have not picked up this issue, I'm telling you, these ladies are dynamite and you need to know them. If you don't know them, you need to know them. You need to get to know them. They're incredible. Each of them we love and we cherish. Until next time, we hope to keep telling your stories, and don't forget to leave behind a paper trail.